standing, lying, or seated. Okay, so every single technique you can do lying down, sitting up, standing, or walking. So remember, you are different than everybody else. Your brain is perfect the way it is. There's certain things that are going to work for you on certain days, certain things that might work better on different days. So because it's easiest, you might want to just stay seated if that's what the position is that you're in right now. But you can try this later on in any of the other positions. So when we do a mindfulness practice in seated position, it's not rocket science, but we basically say, sit up as straight as you can, okay, just comfortably, but straight as you can. If you like imagery, not everyone does, but if you like imagery, you can imagine that you're just being suspended from the top of the head so that you're being supported. You've got a little hook. One of our autistic advisors loved the term sky hook, that just some loving thing from the sky is just holding them up. And the body can kind of relax when you're doing that. If you're in a chair, you can have the feet flat on the ground. And we just want to be in a position where we can be relatively comfortable for a few minutes, okay? So let's start with that ocean breath. We were talking about the ocean, how we can anchor. So there's a boat on the surface waving around, and we can bring our attention to an anchor to help still the mind from all those thoughts, right? So feel free to close your eyes right now if you're comfortable to do that. With all mindfulness practices, you don't have to close your eyes. You can just look down at one object. But that way, if you're looking down, you're helping focus the mind rather than looking around and getting distracted. The next thing that you can do for this gentle ocean breath is just place one hand on your chest, if you're comfortable to do that, and one hand on your belly. Try breathing in nice and deep right now and see if you can sense the hands just rising and falling like an ocean tide. Breathe in nice and deeply. Try bringing all your focused attention to simply those hands just riding the waves of your breath going in and out. Let's try that for 3 to 5 breaths right now. Full attention on the hands just riding the waves of that ocean breath. Now you may have noticed that the mind wandered a little bit doing that. So we'll add a little something else to it. What I'd like you to do now is breathe in a little bit more deeply. And when you breathe out, just blow out a birthday candle. So exhaling through the mouth. And try doing this with a count to it. So breathing in to the count of 4, holding your breath very briefly, and breathing out to the count of 6, holding your breath. So breathe into 4, hold the breath, breathe out to 6, hold the breath. See if you can continue to feel the belly expanding. And one more thing, try relaxing on the out breath when you breathe out through the mouth. So try that for about 5 breaths right now. Breathing into the count of 4, hold the breath. Breathing out to the count of 6, hold the breath. And just continue to do that just for a couple more breaths. Now, let's just bring our full attention to that natural rhythm of the breath. And this time, see if you can hold the focus just in the nostrils. So when we focus on the nostrils, it's a little bit more focused awareness because it's just a smaller area. So we're just feeling the direct sensation of the air moving in and out of the nostrils. And I invite you just to pay attention to this breath right now. Don't worry about the past breath or the future breath. This one right here. It's a little bit easy. Now, all I got to do is focus on this breath, air going in and out the nostrils. Try that for a few breaths. Wonderful. And you may find that one of these techniques works better for you than the others. And know that if you're not clicking, you're not doing it wrong. It just means that your brain might need a different kind of practice right now. Okay. So now what I'm going to invite you to do, these are all different anchors, right? For you to focus your attention. As long as you are lovingly returning your focus back to the anchor, you're doing the practice. Okay. So just keep bringing your awareness back when the mind wanders. And don't worry, the mind will wander. That's what it does. But the practice and just continually coming back. Now, for the next couple moments, I want you just to see if you can focus on the circulation of your blood moving through your body. So, can you feel a pulse in your body? Can you feel the heartbeat? You actually just feel that rhythm of the heart keeping the body alive. Not all of us feel this, but just take note. Can you feel the heartbeat just for the next few moments? Wonderful. This is fantastic focused practice, everyone. And again, you'll notice that one of these practices is going to be better for you than the others. I want to try one more anchor, and then we'll take a little stretch break and focus on just feeling the body moving a little bit. So here's the next one. Now, what I'd like you to do is simply use sound as an anchor. Okay, so what I want you to do is focus on sounds in this order. First, the sound that is further away. So what sound is furthest away from you? Just focus on that for a few moments, picking out the sound that's farthest away. Might be an airplane, might be a car. Just focusing closely on sound. Now, can you focus on the sound that's closest to you? You may notice sounds have beginnings and ends. Now, can you pay attention to all the sounds as they come and go? And it might be very quiet where you are. And if that's the case, just listen to the silence. Okay, so listening to all the sounds that comes and go, and listen to the spaces in between the sounds. Okay, so try that. And as we focus on the sounds that are coming and going, you notice there's beginnings and endings. And what we do when we use sound as an anchor is we don't identify or label. So we don't hear and say, oh, okay, that's a certain car. I think that that's my neighbors. Maybe they're coming home from work, right? So we don't get into a story with it. We simply hear the sound as an event. And in the same way, we can approach our thoughts. Remember, we've been talking about thoughts that keep us up at night, thoughts that increase our stress and our anxiety. In the same way, we can just let thoughts be events in the mind that we don't have to get attached to, but we just let them move on, just the same way we're letting that sound come and go. So let's try this and then we'll just take a break. Let's try imagining that we're lying on our back out in a beautiful day in a grassy field, and we're looking up, and the sky is beautiful and clear, and there's just a couple of clouds in the sky. In the same way that we hear those sounds coming and going, we'll notice that clouds appear in the sky and then dissipate, right? The clouds will just come and they'll move and they'll shift and transform, and then they'll just dissipate. Either they'll leave our view or they'll just expand until they just dissolve into the beautiful blue sky. Let's allow ourselves now, just for fun, to imagine we're lying in that gorgeous grassy field, smelling the clean, clear air around us, and just noticing clouds that come and go, and observing the spaciousness of our own mind. So our own mind is as vast and clear as that beautiful blue sky. If a thought enters the mind, which it will, just allow it to dissipate just like the clouds. So just try that, relaxing, lying back in that beautiful, relaxing spot in a grassy field. And when thoughts come, just allow them to dissipate. Just notice them. Ah, there's a thought. Let it dissipate just like the clouds. Each time a thought comes and we let it dissipate, we just return to that beautiful vision of gorgeous, expansive, clear sky. So the mind is like the sky. We call this meditation actually mind like sky. Great. And then just breathing in and out for the last few moments, just gathering our awareness. And if it helps, you can breathe in and out even with your hands. You can try opening your hand. We call this lotus breathing, opening the hand and breathing in, closing the hand and breathing out, just so that it's like a lotus opening in the day, closing at night. So breathing in and out, opening the hand, and then closing the hand and breathing out. Opening the hand, breathing in, closing the hand, breathing out. When you're ready, you can just give the body a little stretch. So it'd be great to hear from you which anchor, if you want to just use the chat function, which anchor was the easiest for you? Was it breathing through the nose, so nostril breathing? Was it focusing on the belly? Yep, the Joel, that breathing through the nose. Or it could have been the belly was easier. It could have been the sounds that were easier. What seemed to be the best focus for you right there? Sounds, nice one. Oh, and the sky breathing, good. The cloud one was good. I love it. Great. See, look at how different we all are. Some of us really appreciated, and then Sue saying the heartbeat. Yep. Breathing through the chest. Oh, Inez, I love that. That is wonderful. It's really fun. Um, the sky and the cloud breathing. Yep, wonderful. Yep. See, look, we're all so diverse, so diverse. And don't worry if one of them doesn't click for you, it just means that the other one's working for you right now. And then the sounds, it can be so relaxing, to listen to sounds. It can be a really wonderful practice. So there's a whole range of practices. And by the way, all of those things we have, guided meditations for those in our collections that we do in our groups. This is wonderful. So take note of which one works for you. And remember, sometimes, and especially some of our autistic adults, they tell us, you know what, some things are really triggering, like it's really uncomfortable to pay attention to the breath or to pay attention to body sensation. And we'll do that briefly, actually, after we do a little stretch break. Um, so remember, if anything is triggering or challenging for you, please don't feel that you need to push through it. Just take a break. Take a break. And yep, Joel saying, I still don't like the standing, right? Yep. And guess what? If you really don't like standing still, practice moving. And what I'd like to do right now is a little tiny bit of that. So I'd love for everyone to explore, just as Lee was saying so beautifully, the foot cream. And I joke, but I feel like Lee started this foot cream revolution because we always choose at the beginning of our 6 weeks, we always choose a practice like, okay, I'm going to do coffee. I think Bree, you love the coffee. Bree does a lot of dog. You walk your dog, Winston, a lot of that. Bree was the one who came up with the recent group. We're doing washing hands. So we've done that. So what I'd like for us all to do right now, and just to stretch the body a little tiny bit, is to get up and go to our closest sink, wherever that is, and see if you can turn washing your hands into a meditation. So here's what I want you to do. Focus on, remember, it's coming to your senses. So what works for you? Sound, the sound of the water, the smell of the soap you have, the sensations of the washing. So can we all give that a try? So that gets us moving our bodies for a moment. Also, as you're walking to the bathroom or the kitchen, wherever your sink is, feeling the feet on the floor, guess what you can do? You can walk with your breath, breathing in, one breath in for footstep, and you can plant little seeds of love and healing with your feet in the ground as you walk, feeling your chest magically opening, filling your house with love. Imagine as you walk, you're actually just dispelling this beautiful vibration of love through the house. Sounds flaky, right? Don't worry, we're not flakes. We've researched this stuff. But just whatever way works for you to deeply connect with the direct sensation of just washing your hands. So let's all give that a shot, okay? So let's try that. Just turn washing your hands into a little meditation just for a moment. and then come right back. But I hope you can still hear me, everybody. Come right back after you do that. Great. And people might just be slowly coming back after washing their hands. It would be wonderful to hear from people what was the thing about washing your hands that really helped you connect or focus the most? Was it the smell of the like breathing in the smell of the soap? Was it the sensations of the water? Was it the walking and feeling your feet? Um, or was it the sound of the water rushing down from the tap? What was the most significant part of that that really helped you be in the present moment? So, yep, Joel's saying, the soap reminded me of grandma's house, which is so lovely. And David, the water and the soap smell, right? Yep. And the soap bubbles, absolutely. The temperature of the water. The smell is really the thing, eh? Yep, the smell and the sound of the water. And by the way, hello, Sherry. Lovely to see you also. Um, and the sound of the faucet. So look at that. See how we're all tuning in different ways. The scent of the soap. Um, so think of that, like as Lee was describing, as Lee did with that, like who would have thunk putting on foot cream a meditation, but Lee did it and the rest of us followed suit. So think if you can find a way of turning something you do into a regular practice. I want to do one closing little practice right now with some of that loving kindness that I mentioned. We'll just do it very briefly, and then we'll open it up for questions and some closing comments from Bree and Lee. If anybody has any questions about this, please send them off to Bree, and then we can answer those at the end. And Bree will probably do another shout out about Tune In Tuesdays if anybody's interested. But let's just come into a position, and we're going to just introduce one more of these techniques. Metta is the translation of loving kindness. It's sometimes translated as friendliness. I think so important. Lee talks so beautifully how important it is to be compassionate with ourselves. And Lee, it'd be great if you could say a few weird words at the end of this, as you always do so beautifully, about how incredibly important it is to take care of ourselves as caregivers, to love, be patient with ourselves. Remember, like the muscle of mindfulness, the more we practice mindfulness, the better we get at it. So if you're trying this and you're like, oh man, I'm not very good at this must not be for me. Lee started saying that in the beginning, that Lee used to fall asleep, so early on with the body scan practices. Don't worry. If you try this out and you're not connecting with it, it takes practice, and we rewire the brain the more we do it. So let's come into a position. Once again, remember we just practiced that sitting up. Just being in a position in which you can be comfortable just for a few moments. We'll just do a brief practice on this metta, this loving kindness. Sharon Salzberg, I'll show you my beat up old book. I know people who know me have seen this. I show it often because it's always nearby. This book here, Loving Kindness by Sharon Salzberg. She's really the guru, the one who's really started this whole loving kindness, compassion movement in mindfulness. It's one of the traditional practices, but Sharon just does such a great job. I'm going to read a very brief little practice, or just a few words of hers as we enter into this. Feel free to close your eyes once again if you're ready to do that. If you choose not to, that's fine. You can do all these practices with the eyes open, just holding command of your gaze, just looking down at one object. And I love these couple of words because for those of us who are in our homes with our loved ones, and this goes both ways. We might be driving our loved ones crazy. Our loved ones may be driving us crazy. We're all under one roof right now. I live in a very small bedroom or 2-bedroom apartment with my son. And we have our moments because it's at close quarters like everyone does. So I just love this idea of reminding ourselves that whoever it is that's pushing our buttons, if we can sort of look at them and see them through different eyes and remember that they are a person in there who's struggling too. And if we can kind of step out of that critical part of ourselves that's critical with ourselves and others and just be in the present moment with them, drop all of the roles down of parent, caregiver, child, whatever, and just be there as two human beings. Look in their eyes, see them as another human being. We're all struggling, and take a few breaths. Breath in for ourselves, breath out for them. So let's close our eyes. Just return that awareness to the breathing in and breathing out. And I'd like you to breathe in something that you need. So that might be courage or love or strength or calm or healing. What's a phrase of something you need right now? Might even be rest or peace, calm, whatever it is. Breathing in something you need, breathing out something you can let go of. And you might even feel sensations as you breathe out. You might feel your whole body relaxing as whatever you're breathing out just leaves and goes down into the ground. You don't need it anymore. We might be breathing out anxiety or breathing out something you can let go of. So stay with that for just a few moments, breathing in and out. And from Sharon Salzberg. We so often in our lives serve as mirrors for one another. We look to others to find out if we ourselves are lovable. We look to others to find out if we are capable of feeling love. And we look to others for a reflection of our innate radiance. And if you think about that, we want to be these perfect caregivers, hoping that our family member looks at us as this perfect caregiver. But sometimes we have moments too, and that's where we can be compassionate, love ourselves, take those beautiful healing breaths in. What a tremendous gift to enable someone's return to the awareness of their own loveliness. When we see the goodness in others, we are enabling them to flower from within. That's from Sharon Salzberg. So again, when we're in those moments of this person in our home who's triggering us, just remembering they are capable of love too, remembering when they were a vulnerable little baby and we looked after them, and just remember they're struggling too, seeing the goodness of them, and then just matching that in our eyes. So we are looking at them with love. So let's just breathe in and let's just take someone in our lives, just picture someone who has loved you deeply, someone who totally appreciates you, someone who thinks the world of you. Might even be your parent when you were little, and if it's not, because it's not for all of us, just picturing somebody who symbolizes strength, love, and hope to you. And if there's no one who comes to mind right away, it might even be a pet, even a pet you had when you were a child, might even be a teacher from when you were younger. Just picture this person looking at you with love and pure acceptance, really believing in you. Picture them looking at you with that pure love and just breathing that in, feeling that inside of you. And now just allowing yourself to return to that feeling of being accepted exactly as you are inside. And breathing in and out the heart. I like how Inez talked about when we were talking about what we were connecting with and the anchors connected with breathing in and out the heart. Can you imagine that right now you can breathe in and out your own heart? So of course for our air, it's coming in through the nose, but can you fill your heart with light and love? Imagine that there's beautiful, radiant light just coming in, beaming like a healing beam of sunlight straight into your heart. Breathing that in and out. For some people, they really like imagining a healing sun on top of you, beaming radiant light all the way down, going right in through the top of your head, entering into the body. You can breathe in that healing light through the top of the head, breathing it out for another person through the heart. Just finding a way that you connect with having a bit of fun. And if these ways of breathing don't connect with you, don't worry. Might be another way that works for you. Find the way that works for you right now. Breathing in, love for yourself, and just try repeating a phrase. May I be free from harm? And then breathing out for another person or for the whole world. May you be free from harm. So breathing in for yourself. May I be free from harm. Breathing out either for a person or the whole world. May you be free from harm. And then just having a few breaths on your own, breathing in for yourself, breathing out for another or others. And if you feel that sunlight, that beautiful, healing, radiant light inside the body, you can even imagine that you are like the sun, beautiful, healing, radiant sun, healing you inside, and then beaming that out, filling your whole home where you are right now with healing light. The last few moments, just breathing in and out, gathering your attention back in the breath, breathing in and out. When you're ready, you can just stretch the hands, stretch the arms, stretch the body, whatever you need. How is it comfortable for you to move the body around? Do a nice big yawn if that feels good. And then we're just before 3 o'clock. So why don't we just put it over? Bree may have comments, there may be questions or not. And then Lee may have a couple words, how we can just move on through the week. And then we'll be back here next Monday. Thank you so much, all of you. There's a whole range. I think Lee used the word toolkit. It was great. There's a whole bunch of tools you can fool around with. Can I turn it over to you, Bree, and then Lee? Thanks, everybody.
Sue, thank you so much. That was lovely. I needed that today. So that was really energizing and relaxing all at the same time. Um, so just to end things, I'll just comment on, I don't know that I even said this at the beginning, Tune In Tuesdays tomorrow. So that is for people with all developmental disabilities or disabilities. So it doesn't just have to be autism. So please join us. And I will, while Lee chats, I'll put in the event registration to sign up for that. And then if you have questions, you can shoot me an email. But if not, then I'll see and, well, I guess I won't see you guys, but I hope to see you attend our next session.
Hi, thanks, Sue. It's always, you just bring such a wealth of knowledge and care to these sessions. And I guess I just want to encourage people that, you could say to yourself, how can one, or just paying attention to my breath, bring me peace? And, it seems so simple. There has to be something more to this. But really, actually, the breath is always with us. So I love it because I get to know that every breath is a new beginning. So if I've lost my, if I've moved into the future, I'm getting anxious, or I'm back in the past and I'm getting upset about something or feeling bad about something I said or did, I get to start all over again with my very next breath. And just, this is the only reality really that I have. So I can bring my attention back to my breath. And, I just love the idea of what Sue was saying. I can't give away what I don't have. I have to start by